Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. It's Anonymous T. Hope you're having an amazing day today. So, today I am reacting because. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. This is Anonymous T. Hope you're having an amazing day today. So, today we're talking Love and Marriage Huntsville. Today we are talking Carlos King, giving some thoughts on the franchise right now. And I don't know if this was a good idea, you guys. I have no idea if this is a good idea, because if you guys saw from the reunion on, the trajectory of the show is changing rapidly, like even more than season 3. But there's a clear direction that Carlos King wants to take the show, and I think it's a huge mistake. So I am going to recap basically the highlights of what he said and react to those things. So first thing that I thought was very weird was that Carlos said that Phonics Unhooked has dethroned Mama Joyce, which is Candy's mom from Real Housewives of Atlanta, as the mother of reality TV. No, you guys. There's a fine line between entertaining and toxic. And I think we have to be careful in terms of, what we are calling entertaining and what we are crossing the line. And even Mama Joyce has had moments where she's crossed the line in terms of things she said about, Todd's late mother and things of that nature. There have been moments where even she was not, always on the best, trajectory of some of the things she was saying or doing, but she's definitely toned it down. She's definitely been a lot more fair. She still says what she says about Todd and Carmen, but for the most part, her opinions on others have not been at the level of what they were at the height of when she was beefing with people. I feel like the issue with Phonics Unhooked is that she's just coming for everybody, right? She's just coming for everybody, and a lot of the time, she's not even open to hearing, what the facts are, right? It's just all about, and it's fine that she wants to protect her child, right? It's fine. She wants to protect and defend her child, but it's not nuanced all of the time, and I feel like the other issue, the one thing I will say that the only thing I would say that Candy and Tisha's mothers have in common is how hard they're going to ride for their kids, right? And there was a point in time where, in certain instances, Candy would not say the things she needed to say, and she would use the Candy coded click, and she would use her mother to say those things. However, it's now at a point where it's, put up or shut up on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So now Candy's going to have to bring it on her own. Instead of, playing neutral or having somebody else speak for her. And so that is the difference to where Tisha still thinks that she can hide, still thinks that she can throw rocks and hide her hands and use her mom to do all this stuff. But the problem is it's causing a division within the viewing audience, right? There's some people who are finding Phonics Unhooked, some of the things that she says entertaining, but then there's other people who are starting to get sick of it, right? And it's like, I think when we first met Phonics Unhooked, we appreciated her for what she brought to the table. We appreciated her for calling out Marceau and his inconsistencies and some of the sketchy things that he was saying and doing. However, when it changed, when she decided to get involved with other cast members and disrespecting Melody's kids and, saying nobody's going to want Melody because she has 4 kids and this and that and might as well stay married to Martell. And she's just going in on all of these other cast members, and it's not cool. It's not cool at all, and there's been a lot of things that she said that have been too far, and I don't find that entertaining, you guys. I feel like the initial Phonics Unhooked versus Kiki is going to give, but I feel like even there still has to be a line, because at the end of the day, this is still family. And it's weird that now Phonics Unhooked is going on live trying to backtrack and say that there's no, that everything's good, everybody's close with everybody, we're all family at the end of the day, we talk to each other at the end of the day, blah, 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 blah. But you didn't have that same energy on the show. And even your daughter basically was like, hey, I'm fine to fall out with my cousin after one issue. So it is not the same energy that you're giving on these lies, trying to clean things up and say, oh, well, everything's all good. No. Because if it was, you wouldn't have to keep doing these lives to defend yourself. So I disagree with Carlos there. I feel like, we're getting into a point now where, Tisha's mom is inserting herself in other people's business that doesn't need to be. Just like Mark Scott is inserting himself, trying to, quote, call himself exposing Mel, and is hitting himself, going to find himself in court because it's not it. And I don't know why Phonics Unhooked is also trying to expose. If there was something to expose, it would have been exposed by now is the thing, right? Like, it's been 4 seasons, right? I mean, what else is there to expose that hasn't already been exposed, that hasn't already come out on the show? Right, so that's where I am on that. Now, as for his other comments, and I would say honestly, the most iconic mom of all time, if we want to keep it a buck, you guys, is really New York's mom, because she was entertaining and she was messy, but she didn't cross a certain point, right? She was just fun times. She was fun memes and everything else. And it was hilarious. It was very entertaining. I feel like some of these moms, they don't know when that line is between entertaining and toxic and when to pull away sometimes and let their child fight their own battles. At least with New York, you can never say that, she didn't care who it was. She was going to stand up for herself and defend herself no matter what, regardless. That's not the same energy for some of these other people that bring their TV moms, on these shows to be their backbone, essentially. And that's where people start to feel like, okay, why are we getting into this particular situation? Why aren't you speaking up for yourself in this situation? Now it looks like you're bringing your mom on to say the things that you're afraid to say, so that way it makes your hands look clean. And then you try to be like, oh, well, that's my mama, and just, make excuses for it. So there's that. So then he's talking about, Carlos King previews the next episode, talks about, how Kimmy has a Valentine's Day party for the women, and that, everybody came in heels except for Tisha, and Tisha, was wearing tennis shoes, and she wore from Mel's line a Team Wife t-shirt. Now, I don't know if this is being petty, because as you guys know, Money Makin Mel isn't married, but the reason I say it's petty is because up until this point this season, we have not seen Tisha or Mel interact at all. So it kind of just looks like it's gaslighting, or it's like a fake, like, hey, I'm supporting you, but it's like low-key passive-aggressive because you're also trying to shade the fact that you're still married to somebody and she's not. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's something sinister involved with her wearing this t-shirt, like, all of a sudden, right? Like, you're not just wearing this out of just to wear it just for support, like on a regular episode, but you're wearing it after there's been basically 6 weeks of us on our end of you guys not interacting at all, right? And you being made aware that Mel finds you her enemy because of the messy things that you said about her, and then you have the audacity to show up wearing, her stuff. But then it's even more funny because you and Marceau are going on these lives and going on this press tour shading Mel for, quote, selling clothes, but you have no problem wearing it if it fits your agenda that you're trying to push. And so, then basically the question was asked whether or not was Tisha looking for a fight. And he said that he loved that Kiki gave it back to Phonics Unhooked. And that's what I said in another video. I said Phonics Unhooked has met her match. she's met her match to where she is sparring against somebody who has some family tea, who knows some family secrets. And I find it hilarious that, you know, she wants to get on live when she feels like it to try to say, oh, this isn't true, or they flipped this in the scene or what have you. But you had no problem, you know, saying all this slander about your niece when you were trying to take up for your daughter. There's ways that you can take up for your daughter without insulting your other relatives. You can point out to your relatives, hey, I feel that this was wrong. I feel you should have had my daughter's back in this situation. But all the extra, you know, your image of Tisha, your image of Tisha's marriage, like all this other nonsense was just completely unnecessary. And so then from there, he also said that Carlos King, we're going to see another side of Lewis on the guys trip, which I'm not surprised. And then also he says that the Scotts took a trip to Bessemer, and apparently Tisha's family was there, and they're not only, you know, there's not only like tons of people who are, you know, related to Tisha, but they are all just like, you know, how you expect Phonics Unhooked to be. And so then Carlos says that he had to check on Marceau after the Bessemer trip to make sure that he was okay. And also there was a concern because it seems like Carlos King is kind of going away from hyping up Mel. You'll see him repost and comment on Mel on social media, but it's not the same, you guys. It's not the same at all. And I don't understand if it's a situation to where, because I feel like in comparison to Candy, I feel like everything was okay if, you know, Carlos King and, you know, Todd, Candy's husband, were in cahoots together producing all these shows and everything. But something happened, something fell out and everything else, and it just seems like, does he not like women who are bosses? Does he not like black women who are killing it, who are showing that they do not need a man to be successful, that they can have multiple streams of income and still raise their kids and still do it all? Like, it seems as though he liked Mel more when she was suffering and dealing with a cheating husband and being made a fool of and being humiliated on reality television. And it's funny now that he's hyping up Tisha's family, knowing that the rest of the season is going to focus on trying to humiliate Tisha in the same capacity, and trying to expose Marceau, and trying to get one of these cheating rumors to potentially stick, and now bringing in one of Tisha's own relatives to give the cheating even more credibility. And so, you know, I just don't know ultimately what the end game is. Like I said before plenty of times, I was originally intrigued by the show because of seeing black entrepreneurship, of seeing successful black couples, you know, in real estate, in different business ventures, how they were negotiating deals. And at the time with the Comeback Group, were providing low income housing for, you know, families and everything else in Huntsville, Alabama. I thought that that was going to be the focus of the show and the initiative of the show. And it quickly pivoted to being about, you know, Martell's cheating and whether or not he's changed and all this and that. And then everything broke loose once he got the mistress pregnant and everything else. Like, it was just one thing after another to where the trajectory of the show just focused on Mel and Martell's marriage and everybody else kind of just sitting back and having a key. And now, because Mel is not filming with Martell and is barely filming with the rest of the cast, now all of a sudden you want to, you know, start to bring up these other cheating rumors about the other guys and try to hold them to the carpet. But at the same token, rather than addressing this, the rest of the cast is still discussing Mel. The cast is still discussing Mel in every episode, even though she's barely on the show at this point. And it's like, okay, how are you guys supposed to do this without Mel on the show? If she's your topic of conversation, even though she's not filming with Martell, her and Martell are divorced, and she's not even really featuring most of you guys. But yet you have something to constantly say about her, so it makes you guys look like you're haters. And I just don't know if Carlos realizes, even if he gives Mel a spinoff, what the future is going to look like with Love and Marriage Huntsville. Because I've been transparent in saying that the one issue that Carlos King has on his shows, and this also led to, you know, the toxicity that took place on Real Housewives of Atlanta, is when you draw out a storyline too long because you want to see how ratchet it gets, you want to see how messy it can get, and then something may happen that's said too far or that's done too far, which is what we had with the accusations that happened in season 9 with Phaedra and Portia and everything else that got revealed. That's where it's like, okay, we need to stop. We need to move on from this. Either the people who are beefing are going to resolve their beef, but let's not bring in fake rumors or other damaging rumors against each other just to take somebody down because you're not friends anymore. And that's where I feel like where we're at in the show, where certain people are so pressed that they don't have access to Mel, that they're willing to, you know, align with people she's not cool with or lie about her on interviews or different things to try to take her down, to try to stop her hustle. Meanwhile, she's still going to celebrity events. She's still being booked for speaking engagements. She's still selling out her clothing line. She's still selling out her skincare line. She's still selling out her makeup line. She's still getting acting roles, with one coming out soon this year. She is still doing music. She has 3 singles and an EP soon to be released. She has another book coming out. She already wrote books before, and she's just killing it. There are so many ventures that she has, in addition to her property management and her consulting and everything else that she's doing. And I just don't understand at this point, like, what you think hating on Mel is doing when all it's doing is elevating her to another stratosphere. And I don't think Carlos realizes that there's not going to be much of a show without Love and Marriage, like without Mel on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Like, whether you like Mel or not, she's entertaining and she brings the it factor to the show. She's the reason the show exists. She's the reason that these other couples are eating off of the show and getting checks and getting paid. But now it seems like people have now felt that they're all Nene Leakes. They all feel that they've built this house now and now want to come for the queen, and it's not going to end the way that they think it's going to. And I feel like that's where we are. Like, you could bring on Tisha's whole family, you guys. like you guys are still talking about Mel. So I don't know. I don't know what Carlos King, what ultimately he's trying to take this direction of the show. But if his goal is to have Melody forced off the show, or have Mel be so stressed out from the show that she doesn't want to be on it anymore, or film with really anybody in the cast with the exception of Stormy and Kimmy and Tiffany, like, that's not good either. That's not a good environment. And I just don't know where we go from here, right? Because we really tuned into the show to be entertained. And even with the Martell and Mel drama with their divorce and everything else, I think we were expecting a quick transition into other things and a quick transition into them moving on and trying to live their lives, but it just dragged out, and Martell is still determined to slander Mel at any chance that he gets and throw shade, and that's not what the audience is trying to see. And the biggest fundamental mistake that Carlos King is about to make, if he does in fact, have Mel off the show or is no longer backing Mel, as one of the stars of this show and of this franchise, is a core number of women who support the show. Whether you like Mel or not, there's at least a core number of women who empathize with Mel for the fact that she was cheated on, for the fact that her ex-husband had a baby with his mistress, for the fact women who have been through divorce understand different nuances that take place, and women who have kids with a toxic ex who likes to gaslight and manipulate the situation. I feel what people's frustration is even bigger this season is this victim edit that Martell and Destiny are getting on top of it all, right? Like, on top of everything that Martell did last season, it's now this whole like rebrand of, oh, you know, Martell's the victim, Mel's the bad guy, and Destiny's edit, oh, you know, I don't have my village, so now I have to be even closer with all of Mel's enemies. No. You are making the decision that you are choosing to make because you are upset that Mel is not falling for your two-faced antics. And that's the bottom line. But I feel it's a huge mistake if Carlos is trying to, you know, change the narrative and trying to go away from Mel on this show and potentially have her off the show. It's not going to be good. Because I think he's underestimating how many people actually support Mel. And I understand that we're getting to a point in stan culture, like how it is with Real Housewives of Atlanta and everything else in Real Housewives of Potomac, where you're either Team Mel or you're not. But I feel like people are underestimating the impact that people who do support Mel, and even if you don't like her, at least empathize with Mel, the impact that that's going to have if you are continuing down this road of people just talking about her who aren't even interacting with her on the show anymore. And even in real life, they're not interacting with her, but she's still the topic of conversation, right? So I don't know if Carlos King really realizes this. And I feel like he's going to realize it when it's too late and people don't tune in anymore, or the show's at risk for cancellation. So we'll continue to monitor. And we will see what takes place. But those are the thoughts that I have overall on Carlos King. So we will see what goes from here. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you guys think of where Carlos King is taking Love and Marriage Huntsville? What do you think of his lack of support of Melody? You know, based off of this live that he did or what have you. What are you guys thinking? Please let me know in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.